Hello there, my name is David and today we're going to talk Altezza fluids. For coolant I'm using Autobucks, it's red, minus 36, red, okay. For power steering I'm using ATF. I don't know how much I'm going to use, I don't know how much is in this container, but yeah, ATF for power steering. For engine oil I'm using Wacos TR40, which is 10W40 weight. It's a little bit thicker than what they recommend, but it's an old engine. It's what my local shop recommended if I'm drifting the car, so it's what I'm using. For oil filter, I'm using a generic T18 filter. This is actually the same filter that goes on the Cappuccino, the carry truck, and every other vehicle that I own, except for the Hi-Ace. Well, I didn't even own that. If you've ever wondered how you throw oil or fluids away in Japan, you don't take it to a depot, you buy one of these. It's a box full of absorbent material, and you put your unwanted liquids in there and then throw it out with the burnable garbage. This goes for coolant, oil, or you could probably put gasoline in it, I suppose. It says oil change on it. Gasoline, I would probably, I don't know how I'd throw that away. I have heard that the gasoline stand will take it, like the petrol station will take it, but I've never tried that, and we're not changing that today anyway, so beside the point really. If you don't want to buy one of these, keep your old t-shirts, socks, boxer shorts, underwear, whatever, keep them in a bucket and just put your fluids in there and throw that out with the burnable garbage. That's perfectly fine. Make sure all of your coolant lines are connected, otherwise you're going to make a mess. Yeah, that's not ideal, so let's plug that back in. Let's take care of the coolant. In Japan, coolant comes in bags, which is awesome because you can do funky stuff with them and you don't need a funnel. He says he spills it everywhere. You? Why don't you get one of those? Oh, knew I was going to do that eventually. Why don't you use one of those radiator funnel things that sit on top? Well, I've got one of those, but someone the other day said, I wish I had your tools. Well, I didn't always have these tools and I still got shit done, so I kind of want to show you that I don't need to use them. There we go, that's what you wanted to see, isn't it? Yeah, it's easier, but it's not necessary. Well, I only bought 4 litres and it just took all of the 4 litres. So I guess it's more than a 4 litre system, but at least it's got some coolant in it. Shit, unless it went all over the ground. No, I don't see any drips, so we are probably okay. The sump plug is under the driver's side and is a 14 mil. And mine is a bit beat up, so the socket won't go on. That's great. Nothing's ever easy. Cracked it with a spanner, and lucky for me, I was the last person to do this, so it wasn't done up stupid tight. Beautiful. That's some pretty black oil considering I change this all the time. Taking the AN lines off my oil cooler, I need to undo these 2 10 mil bolts. Then I can turn this thing upside down and drain it. Don't forget to put a new washer on your drain plug. This has stopped dripping, so we can put our drain plug back in. Being careful not to drop it into our old oil. Give it a wipe. Okay. Got my 6.5 litre of oil disposal here, and I also have a bucket full of rags. Call that my wet bucket. So it's just absorbent material in a plastic bag in a cardboard box, and you throw away oil or unwanted fluids in here. Now let's see if I can do this and spill it absolutely everywhere. And alley-oop. We're going in. We're going in. Let's sit on the edge of the box and
use your third hand coming in from out of frame to hold the
box. I don't know how many litres this is, but if it's over 6.5, I don't give a shit. Now we're going to do the oil filter. How dumb tight did this become? Because I always do them up by hand. I need 2 hands to do it. All right, here we go. Okay, can't do it by hand. Going to need the... Of course we're going to need a tool. Right, fine. Okay, that's tighter than I would have thought. Wonder if I was the one that actually did that. Joy drive. Now there's a whole bunch of oil pours out of that. Open that up. And it says, put some oil on the gasket. See? New oil, not old oil. There she is. First grid. Okay, that's done up by hand. That will not leak. Time to put oil in it. I have to add extra oil to account for my oil cooler. That's about 4 litres. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Just under full. So maybe it needs more than that. But that'll do for starting it, which is all we're trying to do. Can add more later. The amount that the oil cooler will pull out will not be enough to send this to 0, and I'll check it after the first after the first minute of running it. I've completely drained the power steering system in this, and I've also got a different reservoir to what you might have. Take this lid off. Don't know if that's a good idea. I might want a little funnel. Got a funnel, Astro Products. Fits perfect. Now I do not know how much I need to put in. This is hydraulic fluid, and it will push air through the line until it finds a way out. So you lift the front wheels off the ground and then rotate the steering wheel back and forth with the engine off to force air through the system and back to the reservoir where it can escape. You don't want to do this with the engine running, because if the pump is just sucking air, it could ruin the pump. Click this video to see how I did the power steering reservoir install.